Hi grade 4s, today we're going to be learning about division with remainders. Please make sure that you have a whiteboard and a whiteboard pen with you because you're going to need them for this lesson. So get them right now if you need to and pause the video. So, previously we learned that division just involves grouping items. So for example, if I had 15 items and I wanted to put them into groups of 3, I would take those 15 items and I would begin grouping them into groups of 3. So I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 3. So if I count those up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means that my answer, or my quotient, is 5. So 15 divided into groups of 3, and there are 5 groups. So now we find ourselves in the tricky situation of what do we do when our things don't fit into nice, even groups? For example, what if I have 16 items and I want to put them into groups of 3? That's where remainders come in. So I'd like you to go ahead and draw 22 markers on your whiteboard. I'm going to draw mine at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So let's pretend these are 22 candies. Please pause the video if you haven't finished drawing your 22. So I have 22 candies, and I want to share them amongst my 5 friends. So I want to put these candies into groups of 5. So I'm going to start by grouping them up. 1, 2, please group yours with me as you go. 3, 4, and can I make this last group of 5? No, I can't, because there's only 2 in that group. It wouldn't be a group of 5. So these last 2 here would be called the remainder. So then, when I'm trying to answer the question, 22 divided into groups of 5, I get the answer that I have 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, and I have a remainder of 2. So the way I write that is R2. So my answer is 4 with a remainder of 2. Let's try another question. I want you to draw 19 objects on your whiteboard, and I will draw them at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so let's pretend we have 19 hockey cards, and we'd like to divide them into 3 groups. So that's 19 divided by 3. So let's make our groups of 3. You follow along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 3. And now I can't make any more groups of 3. So that last one is going to become my remainder. So as I go through, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 3 that I have, 6, and I have a remainder, a leftover of 1. If you think you understand, we're going to do a couple of review questions, and I'm going to get you to do them on your own on the whiteboard. So again, you're going to draw out the number of counters. It could be X's, it could be dots. You're going to put them into groups, and you're going to find out what the remainder is. remember that if you can make another group of, say, 3 in this case, then you should make another group. You shouldn't leave that as a remainder. So for 19 divided by 3, I would never have a remainder of 3 or a remainder of 4 because I could always make another group of 3. So, are you ready for some practice questions? Do them on your whiteboard. Okay, here are your questions. I'd like you to pause the video as you do the questions because we're going to move on right away. So when you are finished doing the questions, keep the video playing and we'll show you the answers to those questions. Go now. So for our first question, we have 19 dots and we want to put them into groups of, we have 26 dots and we want to put them into groups of 4. So it looks something like this. You can see that we have 2 left over, so that is going to become our remainder. So our answer to 26 divided by 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups with a remainder of 2. For our next question, we have 11 counters and we want to put them into groups of 3. So that'll look something like this. And you can see that once again, we have a remainder of 2. So our answer to 11 divided by 3 is that we have 3 groups with 2 left over, 2 remainder. For the third question, we have 17 counters and we need to put them into groups of 5. So that will look something like this. And you can see that once again, we have a remainder of 2. I didn't do that on purpose. So our answer to 17 divided into groups of 5 is that we have 3 groups with a remainder of 2. For the last question, we have 18 counters and we need to put them into groups of 4. So it'll look something like this. And once again, we have our remainder with a magic number of 2. So our answer to 18 divided by 4 is that we have 4 groups with a remainder of 2. So if you think you've got the idea, you can go ahead and turn off the video and do some practice questions with a teacher check. If you think you'd like to try a few more questions just to be sure, then you can go ahead and do the next few questions with me. Please note that for each of these questions, we're going to still draw out examples. We'll get to the quicker method in our next lesson. See you later. So here are your next 4 questions if you would like extra practice. Go ahead and do them right now, but remember to pause the video while they're going on. For the first question, letter E, we have 13 counters and we're putting them into groups of 4. So you can see that we have 3 groups with 1 left over. So our answer to 13 divided by 4 is 3 groups with a remainder of 1. Our next question has 9 counters divided into groups of 2. So you can see that there are 4 groups with 1 left over. So the answer to 9 divided by 2 is 4 groups with 1 left over, remainder 1. For question G, we've got 22 counters and we're breaking them into groups of 8. You can see here that I've got 2 groups and I've got 6 left over. So you notice that when we have a bigger divisor, that's the number we're dividing by, then we can have a bigger remainder. So if we're dividing by 8, we could have a remainder of 6 or 7. But if we were dividing by 2, we could never have that big of a remainder. So our answer for 22 divided by 8 is that we have 2 groups with a remainder of 6. And our last question has 17 counters divided into groups of 4. So we can see here that we have 4 groups with 1 left over. So our answer to 17 divided by 4 is 4 groups with 1 left over, remainder 1. So if you feel like you've got it now, you can go ahead and do a teacher check. If you're feeling like you're a little confused and you need some more help, it's time to go see a peer tutor or talk to one of the teachers to get a tutorial.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.